And so I'm going to invest in early childhood education to close the achievement gap. Make sure every child is prepared when they start school. And I won't just talk about how great teachers are. I will reward them for their greatness by giving them higher salaries and giving them more support. And we will have the highest standards in this country because our children have to compete against India, against China. But those high standards will not simply be measured by a single high-stakes standardized test, because I don't want our teachers teaching to the test. I want our children learning art and music and poetry and science and history and civics. I want them to have a full, well-rounded education. And I want our teachers to get back into the job of teaching. I don't see the children who grow to crumbling schools in Milwaukee or Dayton or Dallas as those kids. They're our kids, and all of them deserve a chance to succeed. And we're going to make college affordable by providing a $4,000 tuition credit to every student every year. But they're going to have to give back something in return. They're going to have to provide community service. They're going to have to engage in national service. They'll work in a homeless shelter, work in a veterans home, join the Peace Corps, learn a foreign language, join the Foreign Service. We'll invest in them. They'll invest in America. Together we will march this country forward. That is an agenda for change that the American people are ready for. When I'm president, this party will be the party that finally makes sure our sons and daughters don't grow up in a century where our economy is weighed down by our addiction to oil. Our foreign policy is held hostage to the whims of dictators. Our planet passes a moment of no return. When I called for fuel efficiency standards on cars, I didn't do it in front of some environmental group. That's easy. I did it in Detroit, in front of the automakers. I told them they had to change their ways, and I have to say the room was really quiet. Nobody clapped. But that's okay, because part of what we need from the next president is somebody who will not just tell you what they think you want to hear, but will tell you what you need to hear, will tell you the truth about how we have to confront our challenges and move forward and occasionally make some sacrifices. And that's why we're going to set a goal of 80% reductions in carbon emissions by 2050. And we will meet it with higher fuel standards and new investment in renewable fuels that can create millions of new jobs and entire new industries right here in America. And finally, it's time to turn the page on 8 years of a foreign policy that has made us less safe and less respected in the world. You know, if I'm the nominee of this party, John McCain will not be able to say that I agreed with him about the war in Iraq, because I didn't. He won't be able to say that I agreed with him on giving the benefit of the doubt to George Bush on Iran, because I haven't. He won't be able to say that I agree with him in embracing the Bush-Cheney policy of not talking to leaders that we don't like, because I believe in a different principle. I believe in talking not just to our friends but to our enemies, not just to leaders we like but those we detest. Because I remember what John F. Kennedy said. He said we should never negotiate out of fear, but we should never fear to negotiate. That's what strong countries and strong presidents do. They talk to their adversaries, and they tell them where America stands. And they try to resolve differences without resort to war. My job as president will be to keep you safe. That was my first obligation. I will not hesitate to strike against those who would do us harm. But part of that means keeping our military intact, and that means training them properly and equipping them properly and putting them on proper rotations and treating our veterans with the honor and dignity they deserve when they come home. No more homeless veterans, no more begging for disability payments, no more waiting in line for the VA. They have earned our respect. But it also means using our military wisely. And the war in Iraq was unwise. It distracted us from Afghanistan. It fanned the flames of anti-American sentiment. It's cost us soon to be trillions of dollars, thousands of lives, thousands more maimed, grievously wounded. It was an unwise war. And that is why I opposed this war in 2002, and that is why I will bring this war to an end in 2009, and we will bring an end to the mindset that got us into war, the politics of fear that has clouded our judgment, that uses 9/11 as a way to scare up votes and undermine our civil liberties instead of bringing the country together around a common purpose. That will come to an end when I am President of the United States of America. I want to go before the world community and say, America's back. America's back, and we are ready to lead. And we will lead hunting down terrorists. We will lead on dealing with loose nuclear weapons. But we will also lead on climate change. We will also lead on reducing our own nuclear stockpiles in conjunction with the other nuclear powers. We will also lead in helping poor countries deal with the devastation of HIV/AIDS. We will also lead in bringing an end to the genocide in Darfur. We will also lead in helping educate uneducated children around the world. We will lead by upholding our civil liberties and our rule of law, and we will close Guantanamo and restore habeas corpus. And if you elect me, you will have a president who has taught the Constitution and believes in the Constitution and will obey the Constitution of the United States of America.